Hi, I'm Jacob Swodek, and welcome to this month's Short Sale Scoop. Topic of this video is BPO Valuation Challenges. BPO, which stands for Broker Price Opinion. In one of our trainings, we redefine BPO as be present or else, right? Because of the importance at being a part of this process. But I want to reel it in a little bit and talk to you about something that I've learned in the past several months by virtue of being able to be on some of these panels and be around some of the players at the executive level with some of these major servicers. And I've learned something that was always a suspicion of ours and our network, but we weren't really ever able to really put our finger on whether it was a reality or not. And now I can convey to you that it really is. And that is that many times in our business, agents like myself that do a lot of short sales, we get so frustrated with these BPO values. What does that mean? We call it the $50 folly, right? You servicer would rather spend $50 to have Joe Blow Realtor go out there and do a quick valuation, drive by, or maybe get inside for a few minutes to save money and not have to do a $350 appraisal, which, by the way, every bank did. When I started in this business in 1999, they all did appraisals. There was no such thing as a BPO. So you're trying to cut costs, do a BPO, and then I have valuation disputes about 75% of the time. And we throw rocks at these agents and get mad at the servicers because these values are bad. And I hear these conversations all the time, and I thought, can that many agents doing BPOs be that bad or that wrong? And the answer is no. You know, I had a few circumstances where I actually knew the agent who did the BPO, and I said, I know that you can't tell me the value. I don't want you to lose your contract with ABC Bank. But they came back at me $40,000 higher than anything's ever closed in its neighborhood. Can you please communicate to me what's happening at the servicer level? When I told this person what the bank countered me back at based on his BPO, he said, Jacob, let me just tell you, my BPO came in way below what they're countering you back at. And so little by little, I started doing investigation and doing more and more of these, asking these questions, and also being on panels with people I won't name, but large servicer representatives, where I asked the question specifically, Mr. Jones from ABC Bank, is it possible that loss mitigation would ever counter back the buyer based on a value that is beyond or above what the BPO came back at, just to try to minimize the loss for your client, the investor, which we talked about in a prior video? The answer was absolutely yes, Jacob. We have a fiduciary duty at the servicing company towards our, or for our, investor client. That is who we have a legal obligation to, not you, the agent, and not the borrower, believe it or not. They borrowed from us. We didn't borrow from them. So it comes down to old negotiation 101. And a lot of times it's about achieving a minimum net, which we don't have time to go into on this small vignette, but a lot of times there are formulas built into these programs based on the pooling and servicing contract between the investor and the servicer, where the investor tells the servicer contractually, if you can get me X amount, if you can net me X amount of the fair market value, we can move forward with the deal. Or if you can get me X amount, you'll have delegated authority. So the servicer is trained to try to maximize that net to be able to push the deal through quicker, to get a pat on the back, an attaboy, maybe a Snicker bar, whatever it is they get, to push the deal through faster. But if you have really high delinquent property taxes, borrowers asking for closing costs, it's HAFA, so it has to be 6% commission. These fees start to add up, and a lot of times they're not able to get that investor the net that they need to get them because of all the fees or because of whatever challenges there might be, HOA liens, multiple junior liens, or what have you. So they beef the price up to meet that net. Now, I'm talking fast. I hope you can follow me. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is that this is not about value most of the time. It's about net. They're trying to net the most to that investor client of theirs 9 out of 10 times. So when you're talking about BPO, be careful who you throw rocks at. It's not always the agent. It's not even the servicer's fault. Sometimes they're really doing their job trying to maximize the net to the investor. And so I would encourage you to get them off script like we talked about earlier this month. Get them off script, start talking about net, ask intelligent questions, learn to dig, probe, and escalate. And you're going to see just by this nugget you picked up today, a higher level of success, more short sales closed, and getting to the finish line faster with these negotiators. I hope you've pulled something out of this training, and that concludes this short sale scoop.